So I'm really excited to host this session, and I really hope it will be both educational, relaxing, and inspiring one. As was mentioned in the introduction, I'm excited to share my knowledge, passion, and energy with you today, and let's get started. So when we're talking about, well, I want to give you actually a little bit of a background of how this presentation came into play. When I started teaching at Avila in 2017, I was given the opportunity to develop a core requisite course that goes along the main math course, college math level course for students. And in designing that course, I felt that beyond math skills, the things that students need are some kind of a support system and skills to help them be better learners. And so in this course, as was mentioned, I do a time management workshop. I promote growth mindset through assignments and activities and so on. And I also promote stress management. And so this presentation came as a result of an activity I created for this core requisite course. And from all the feedback I get from my students when they are asked, in the evaluation, what was the most effective lab in your class, they almost all of them mention stress management. So students need that support from us. So when we are talking about stress, well, first of all, let's understand what is stress, how it is defined. Well, it's defined as our mental, emotional, physical, and behavioral reaction to perceived demands or threats. Now, we know there are short-term effects of stress that we are experiencing while we are stressed, but there are actually more long-term effects of stress. Well, there are studies that have shown that some of the long-term effects of stress include increased risk of heart disease, increased risk of mental issues, hormonal imbalance, infertility, and more. So it's important to be aware of stress and learn how to manage it. Now, when it comes to managing stress, there are kind of four steps that are recommended. Well, the very first is assessing your stress levels. And I don't know if you guys can see, I actually posted a link to a simple and quick test that I would like for you guys to go on and answer those questions. I'll discuss that in a little bit on the next slide. But the next step in managing stress is, so first assessing your stress levels. Second is identifying your stressors or the stress triggers. Those can be internal or external. Like external can be job, family demand, traffic, overcommitment, things like that. And internal triggers are self-doubt, pressure to succeed, fear of the unknown, and so on. So assessing your stress level, identifying the stress triggers, identifying your warning signs. So sometimes there are physical and emotional signs that we experience when we are stressed, very often not linking them to the fact that we are very stressed. So it's important to recognize them so that, in the future, when you experience those signs, you need to step back and manage your stress. Now, the last thing is, of course, to commit to some prevention methods, one or two prevention methods that work for you. And we're going to discuss some of them in a little bit. So let's talk for a minute about the measuring stress. So there are various versions of stress measurement, and all of them are actually based on the Perceived Stress Scale, or PSS, that was developed originally by Cohen et al. In 1983. He developed this 14-item instrument that was designed to measure the degree to which situations in one's life are perceived as stressful. And actually, a recent study done in 2017 actually validated the 10-item PSS and confirmed that that scale is not significantly affected by gender bias, at least among UK university students. So I would like you to go into the stress. Let me actually do this. Give me a second. I will put it in the chat again because I saw someone raising their hands and it's possible that you didn't see it. So here we go. So first, if you don't mind going into the, here we go. Here's the link. There are some questions there that I want you guys to answer. And after you get your test score, please, as you know, I'm a math professor, right? So I have to have some math twist here. And so I would like you, if you don't mind, going into, okay, I think I posted it only to the panelists, so just give me a second. Here we go. You should see it now. Do you see it now? Okay, so once you're done with that, we are actually, I'm going to send you a link to a Desmo presentation. So as I mentioned, I'm a math teacher, so I want to have use some math tools like Desmo's Teacher. And we're going to, once you get your score, go into the second link and enter your score there, please. And these are anonymized, so you won't see your, when I share this, you won't see your name. I see like 6 responses. I'm not sure if everyone else didn't get the link or it's not working for you. Oh, here we go. Some more scores are coming. I see. I see some various levels of stress. I guess those of you who are on summer vacation have a little bit more relaxed time now. And some of you are maybe more stressed than others here. So give me a second. So the scale, someone asked, the scale is from 0 to 40. And I don't know if you could see after you finished your, there's like a breakdown of the scale: blue, orange, and red. All right. Interesting. I don't see anyone in the higher range, in the, from 30 to 40. All right. I think we can move on. So, as we mentioned, one of the first thing is managing your measuring your stress levels, and the next thing are in managing stress. The next step in managing stress is identifying your stressors, right? So, as we mentioned, stressors can be external, like job demands, family demands, traffic, finances, overcommitment in general, or they could be internal, like self-doubt, the pressure to succeed, fear, fear of change, and sometimes physical issues can also be like cause internal stressors as well. So let's see what are some of your stressors. So if you go to the Desmos presentation, release the thing here. So what are some of your stress triggers? Please go to slide 3 of the Desmos presentation and enter some of your stress triggers there. And by the way, when I do it in class, I share a lot of my personal stuff, and it just creates a more comfortable environment for the students to open up and share and talk. And sometimes we have a class discussion on stress triggers in college for college students. So do you guys, you know what, I think I'm going to do a new share, and I'm going to share with you the actual Desmos thing that I see here. Can you see the Desmo presentation, guys? Okay, great. So we can see here a lot of us experiencing job demands as our kind of top stress triggers, family demand, injustice, traffic, finance, racism, some life experiences like loss or illness or divorce. I personally experienced a loss a few years ago, and that was causing a lot of stress for a longer period in my life. And that was kind of the motivator also to take charge of that stress levels and manage them and inspire others to do the same. Lack of emotional support. A lot of students actually, in my class, I have seen a lot of students that are rank that lack of emotional support as high. As traffic, racism, self-doubt, technology issue, pressure to succeed, fear of the unknown, illnesses, speaking in public. For some students, living situation also is a big stressor, especially if they're first-year students and they live on campus or off campus by themselves. That could be a big stressor. So let's move on. And one of the main tools, in my opinion, to really get in touch with your body is using your breath. We know that the breath are actually connected to the, sorry, one second, sorry, a second. Okay, our breath has tremendous impact on our mind. It helps us center ourselves and kind of reconnect to our essence. Now, on a normal basis, we usually don't use the full capacity of our lung, especially when we're busy and stressed and running from task to task and job to job or whatever it is. Now, deep breathing really helps increase lung capacity. It helps with the blood circulation and oxygen in the body, and it also helps relax the nervous system. So one of the main techniques in yoga are just deep breathing while you're inhaling through your nose and really pushing the air down into your abdomen and then exhaling from your mouth. So let's practice a couple of those deep breaths. So if you feel comfortable, you can close your eyes or not, and just sit comfortably and relaxed and inhale deeply through your nose to a count of 3. And exhale through your mouth to a count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 1, 2, 3. Hold for a second. And exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do one more. Inhale. 1, 2, 3. And exhale. 1, 2, 3. Hope you felt the calming effect of the deep breath. I personally know that in days, the past year I was working mainly at home, but before, when we had classes on campus and I was running between classes and between meetings and things like that, it was very stressful. I used to just go into my office, close the office door, and just sit and take like literally 3 to 5 deep breaths with my eyes closed. That changed the energy of the rest of my day and gave me a little bit more kind of energy and power to move further. So the next thing I want us to look at is, what are some of your warning signs? So in the Desmo presentation, the next page is some of the warning signs. Now, you can see that there are physical indicators that are listed on the left, and there are also mental indicators that are listed on the right. So please choose them and add any others that you're experiencing. And while you do that, I'm going to kind of go through some of them. So some warning signs are sadness, feeling of failure. These again are signs that are things that we experience when we are stressed, very often not linking them to the fact that we are stressed. So sadness, feeling of failure, increased irritability, heart racing, shakiness, nausea, frustration, exhaustion, change in sleeping pattern, change in eating pattern and drinking pattern, anxiety overall, procrastination, avoiding dealing with tasks, and poor focus and concentration, and letting go of exercise routine. That's kind of one of the first signs of being stressed and not being able to think about how exercise is important and so on. So you guys don't see the Desmo presentation? Okay, I see some messages here. So I'll send the link again. I'm sorry that you are not able to follow there. Here we go. Okay, you're unable to move forward to the warning signs. Give me 1 second. I will fix that. Yeah, you should be able to. Yeah, I see. There we go. Yes, here we go. Now you should be able to see the warning signs. Sorry about that. I had to release that. I release one slide at a time. There we go. All right, we see. I see your responses here on the screen. Yeah, fatigue is a big one for a lot of us here. Nail biting, I see some of you. Inability to focus and lack of concentration. Yeah. Frustration, anxiety overall, change in sleeping pattern, increase irritability. I see a big one here. I know personally that I experienced that, and my husband experienced that as well. When when I'm stressed, sometimes he would come and ask me a question, and I would just explode on him, not related to what he was asking, but because I'm so irritable when I'm stressed. Procrastination for students, procrastination and you know, change in sleeping pattern is a big one. That's what I have seen in my classes. And also inability to focus and lack of concentration. Feel tired, frustration, rage. Yep. Negative self-talk. That's a big one for a lot of us, especially myself too. Like when I'm stressed, I hear the negative self-talk like louder than anything else. We'll talk about that in a bit as a prevention method. All right, thank you guys for sharing. Anger, I see anger here. Yep, that's a big one too. Thank you guys for sharing that. That's great. So now that we looked at some of the warning signs, let's talk a little bit about prevention methods. So there are some physical recommendations and there are some mental recommendations. Let's go through the physical one first. And actually, let me release the slide, because while I'm exploring them, you guys can add some of the ones that you are using that work for you. So some of the physical recommendation for managing stress is, guess what? Set non-negotiable time for exercise, preferably on a daily basis. Now, exercise can be going to the gym, and it can also be walking outside for half an hour or 20 minutes a day. Now, we know exercise helps with the brain health. It helps with functioning of the internal organs. It's important. Commit to healthy nutrition meal, at least one per day. Now, for us adults, it's, you know, it's a more it's something we used to, but for students, for example, you know, it's not so it's not so common. A lot of students just eat junk, right, when they're in classes and when they're stressed. So eating healthy meal, sleeping a minimum of 7 hours per night, or in general, just rest when you feel fatigue. Set limit on caffeine. Caffeine is a stimuli substance that actually, when you're stressed, it increases your stress levels. And also, caffeine is very acidic and create an acidic environment in our internal organs, which studies have shown that acidity is linked to increased inflammation in the body overall and internal disease as well. You can use some over-the-counter supplements like the Rescue Remedy or CBD oils or St. John Wort. There are different remedies that help reduce stress. Now, another thing is, if you have a big task at hand, you want to break that task into a smaller, more manageable ones. And, you know, promoting it for students, it's important as well. Plan your time wisely and realistically. For a lot of us, you know, time management is an issue. It's difficult, and, you know, for students even more. Now, you also want to set some clear boundaries between work time, family time, and personal time, right? Like when you plan your time, you know, on this part of the day, I'm going to be working, and this part of the day, I'm going to spend some time with my family. And at that time of the day, I'm going to take care of my personal stuff. So that's really important time management. Now, some of the mental recommendations that I would like to share with you are, first, practice of deep breathing exercise, just like we did today, at least once a day. In fact, I start my day every morning with reciting some prayers or chanting, but really taking like 3 to 5 minutes of just deep breathing and kind of focusing my mind, kind of a little meditation. It really, really helps set the tone for the rest of the day and to kind of keep my stress levels lower. Another thing is you want to create a daily relaxation practice, like a yoga or meditation. In fact, at the end of the session today, I will guide you with a relaxation meditation practice that we usually do at the end of every yoga class, but it's very powerful as well. You will see. Connect with people you care about. Sharing your energy and caring for others often makes us feel good, makes us feel purposeful and connected. Big thing is also to pay attention to your thoughts. Our thoughts are really what creates our, I'm sure you know the saying, what goes around comes around. It's not just about our actions, it's also about our thoughts, our beliefs, our words, right? So really pay attention to your negative self-talk and replace it with a positive one. Understand that challenges in life are very often temporary, and like we now here zoom in together, right? But sometimes what you need to do is kind of zoom out and connect to the bigger picture of your life. That helps a lot with alleviating the momentarily stress that you experience. And another big one, at the end of every day, celebrate your success rather than focusing on what you still have to do and what you have not accomplished. Just celebrate your success, celebrate what you did accomplish that day, and connect to your good feelings with that. Now let's see what some of the tips and tricks that you guys shared with us. So I'm going to go here to the Desmo presentation, and let's see what some of those you wrote. Okay, I see. Excellent. Exercise, getting outside to breathe, to-do list, that's a good one. Again, exercise, deep breathing, walking, playing with your dog. Animals are actually very sensitive to, they can actually, especially dogs, they can actually smell when you're stressed. They can smell the chemical reaction in your body when you're stressed. So sometimes just petting your dog and spending some time with your pet animal is good. Swim, I see. Swim and hike. That's like with the exercise. That's awesome. Deep breathing, eating mindfully, screaming a pillow. Okay, that helps release, I guess, a lot of stress and anger. I haven't seen that. That's awesome. Drinking water, eating healthy, rest, stretching, going for a walk. I see a lot of those are kind of common. And I see some here playing computer games or read emails. That helps people relax. Meditation, positive self-talk, watching some TV. I see some painting and making jewelry. That's awesome. Nap, TikTok, some I see here. That's great. Remember good things that I did for other people. That's great too. That's awesome, guys. Thank you so much for sharing. So I see a question on the chat, but I think we'll answer the questions towards the end if you guys are okay with that. So let's talk about, these were, we covered the recommendation, great. So the next thing I would like to do with you guys is to guide you through a relaxation meditation exercise. And the truth is that in my classes, in the first session that we do this stress management workshop, I guide them through the relaxation exercise that I will guide you today. And in the following session, sometimes not immediately the session after, but maybe 2 sessions after, I guide them with a visualization meditation exercise where I take them on the beach and I kind of guide them through deep breathing and connecting to themselves and so on. So let's relax with a meditation with your permission. So I want you guys to position yourself in a comfortable position. If you're lying down, just lay down flat with your feet apart, your hands apart. If you're sitting, just make sure your feet are grounded and your palms are facing up, resting on your lap. And if it's okay, I'm going to share some music, and I would like your input for the volume of the music. Give me a second here. Can you guys hear the music in the background? You don't hear it. Okay, give me a second. Oh, here we go. Share sound. Here we go. And do you hear it now? Should be very subtle. Volume is good. Okay, awesome, awesome, great. Okay, guys, beautiful. So, again, just sit comfortably wherever you are. What I'm going to do is we're going to go through the different body parts, kind of starting from your feet all the way up. I'm going to suggest different body parts to relax. And you can visualize white light kind of entering your body from your toes, going up your body as I will guide you, and kind of washing away any tension or stress. So again, close your eyes. You can lift your eyes slightly above the field of vision and close them. Let's start first just with deep breathing, inhaling through your nose. Exhaling fully through your mouth. Inhale deeply. Exhale. Adjust yourself so you're comfortable and steady. And visualize your body pictures in your mind. And mentally repeat after me when I suggest your body parts to relax. Relaxing my toes, my feet, and my ankles. My toes, my feet, ankles are relaxed. And visualize white light going in your body, toes, washing away discomfort and stress. I'm relaxing my shins and my calves. I'm relaxing my knees, back of the knees. I'm relaxing my thighs, hamstrings, my feet and my legs are relaxed. I'm relaxing my hips and hip bones. I'm relaxing my pelvis. My buttocks, my abdomen, my pelvis is relaxed. I'm relaxing my ribs and my chest. My ribs and my chest are relaxed. I'm relaxing my lower back, middle back, the spinal column. wrists, forearms, my elbows, my upper arms, my hands are relaxed. I'm relaxing my shoulders and shoulder blades, my neck, my torso is relaxed. Relaxing my neck, my chin, my mouth, my lips, my tongues, cheeks and cheekbones, my nose and nostrils, eyes, eyebrows, relaxing my forehead, my ears, my face is relaxed. I'm relaxing my skull and my brain. My head and face are completely relaxed. I'm relaxing my internal organs, my heart, my lungs, my liver, kidneys, pancreas, spleen, reproductive organs, intestines, my internal organs are relaxed. My body is completely relaxed. My mind is relaxed. Thoughts that are coming in, just observe them and let them go. Don't try to fight with your thoughts. It's impossible. Connect to your breath. Feel the serenity in your body right now, the relaxation. Embrace it into every cell of your body. Let's come back to the breath. Let's take 1 or 2 deep breaths together. At the same time, very gently bring back motion into your body. Inhale deeply. Exhale. With your fingers and your toes. Very gently move your arms and your legs. If you feel need to, you can stretch a little bit. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes. Come back to the here and now. And welcome back. Thank you. I guess we can go to the. I would love to for you guys to share on the chat your experience with the meditation. I know maybe some of you fell asleep at some point. That's actually a good sign, because it means that your muscles were relaxed and you kind of went into the sleep mode. That's great. I wonder how others feel.
How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you, Vera, for sharing. And Hannah and Perline. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correct. Beautiful. All right, so okay. Okay, great feedback, guys. Thank you so much for sharing. And the Desmos, I see that some of you were a little bit frustrated. Maybe next time I should just publish all of them at the same time. Maybe reading seems better for you. Okay, thank you, guys. All right, let's see what if we have any questions on the Q&A. I don't know. I don't see any questions. Or you guys can also use the chat if you want for questions, if you have any. And the last slide in the Desmos, you also have my email address. If you have any questions or want help with the slides or the Desmos presentation, feel free to reach out. Yes, if I can share my email. So my email is in the presentation, but I can definitely put it in the chat for you, no problem. And I see a question here, what is mindfulness? That's an excellent question. So mindfulness is using your mind, right? The mind is, as far as I see it, is like almost like a metaphysical muscle that's not in your body, but it's in your, in your existence. And mindfulness is a practice of the mind. So meditation is, one of the main tools to access the mind, the power of the mind. And mindfulness is also the way you live life, right? The way you perceive situations in your life. And, I personally am religious. I'm a modern Orthodox Jew. And it really goes a long way with my beliefs. And so it's really, mindfulness is really using your mind to process things, right? And deal with situation and deal with relaxation and so on. I hope I answered the question well. It's a tough question, by the way. Do you have any recordings? I believe the recordings will be shared, yes. Any other questions, guys? Okay, thank you. Thank you, Leanne, for sharing that last message with us. Okay, see another question. How can we help our students learn to de-stress? That's a great question. So as I mentioned in the beginning of the presentation, well, one of the first thing is I noticed for myself, when I started the job that I'm currently at Avila University, I was very stressed because, new job, university, you always, want to do better, you want to do well. And when I came into my classrooms, I was stressed for my personal reasons. I also was experiencing some infertility that caused a lot of stress. And I was also stressing about covering the material in my class, and students feel that. So one of the ways to help students de-stress is coming to class with a good vibe and relax, and ask them, reach out to them how they're feeling before you even start teaching anything. How you're feeling today? How's your day? Just kind of create a warm and safe environment for students to share and open up. Now, this is a presentation, the Desmos presentation. I'll be happy to share if you email me. You can create that similar presentation in your classes, right? Help students understand that the college life is a temporary period in their life where they have a lot on their plate, but it's temporary, right? So helping them see that it's temporary, that they can manage their time. If they manage their time better, they can be less stressed. If they practice some deep breathing and meditation and exercise, that can help with stress, right? So educating them about those kind of 4 steps for managing stress that I mentioned earlier is a good thing. I hope I answered your question, Gwenly. Okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. I don't see any. Okay. All right. Awesome.
Well, if there's any other questions, we'll be able to connect with Dr.
Moshonov-Cohavi.
Cohavi at the very end, and we can go ahead and share that information with you as well in a follow-up. But I appreciate you all coming out today and attending our presentation. Thank you, Dr. Moshonov-Cohavi, for sharing all this information with us. That meditation was beautiful. Any of the attendees or any of your colleagues have interest in presenting during our Learning and Growth webinar series, please feel free to submit a proposal to our website. I will go ahead and post that link in the chat here. So if any of you who have attended have any future interest in other presentations that would be great to share with colleagues, please feel free to let us know. Also in here, if you have any remaining questions for us at Hawks or our presenter, we can go ahead and get those directly over to her or answer them directly to you. You can reach out to marketing@hawkslearning.com, which I'll actually also put in the chat there for you.
And I also put my email in the chat if anyone wants to reach out.
There we go. Okay. So all of those links are in the chat for you guys. And we will be emailing you a direct link with the recording and the resources shared in here today in a follow-up as well. So those will all be arriving soon. But if you have any other questions, please feel free to stick around and let us know. Otherwise, I appreciate your time today and thank you guys for attending.